Okay, so we are officially recording, guys. I'm not sure who is going to come out while we're doing this call, and I'm not even sure how many people are actually going to see this in different states. But I know it's going to be broadcast a lot of places, and this is a subject matter that I feel is very important. And I was blessed, to have the opportunity to have the individual come out and speak to us that's going to be speaking about this topic today because a lot of us, like me myself, I own a CBD brand, myself. And I know oftentimes when we post things and ads on things like Facebook or social media, sometimes it doesn't gain traction just because it's got CBD, in the advertisement. And like with my products, Active Duty RX, all my products are THC free. So there are no detectable levels of THC, right? But to the uninformed or the uninitiated, they automatically think that it's all the devil's lettuce and we're all, we're all going to jail, but a lot of them oftentimes don't realize that this same plant that we call cannabis, it can heal you or it can house you. But you never know what you want to do until you get information, until you know all of your options. So I had the good fortune, God, it's been probably like 5 or 6 years ago, I ran into Dave Thompson through a mutual friend of ours, and he was doing some things in the cannabis space at the time. And we've always just stayed in contact during the years, off and on, seeing each other at different shows, different events. And he reached out to me not too long ago, and we kind of reconnected. And he was telling me what he was involved with, and I was like, man, this is something that people need to know about because, like, I know that there are a lot of people right now that are having a lot of problems. A lot of people that have these, Delta 8 brands, which is going to be that's going to be going bye-bye, right? But a lot of people are doing a lot of things and they're not able to get the traction that they want for their business simply because they've got these shadow bans going on, where they can't get involved and whatnot. So, I wanted my good buddy, Dave Thompson to come out here and just have a discussion about this stuff and how it works. So, Dave, can you hear me?
I can. How you
Awesome,
doing,
man.
JJ?
Good, man. Good to see you again after all these years. It's been some time since Oklahoma.
It's been a while since Oklahoma. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Last time I saw you face to face, you were all barefaced like me, but I see you've grown up, you got your big man stash going on now. That's cool, man. So what have you been up to lately prior to, us reconnecting, man? What's been going on?
So, spent the last like probably 5 years building a real estate portfolio. So, was doing that, and through that whole process, came across a bunch of different marketing, a lot of people in the marketing, a lot of different characters out there wanting to sell you this and sell
Yep.
you that and sell you that lead. And oh, these leads are the best, right?
Hmm.
So through a bunch of trial and error and stuff like that, I came up to a handful of products that actually did something. So we started doubling down, being a little bit more strategic with what we did. And
Hmm.
along the process, I found mailers and I found a guy I'd happened to bump into and now happens to be my partner with the company,
Hmm.
but also is a president at this essentially large agency that has access to Trade Desk and Amazon DSP.
Okay.
Um,
Now, what is DSP?
so DSP is basically it's Amazon's platform for their e-commerce direct marketing
Okay.
tool. So
Okay.
just like Trade Desk, so what these tools do is they're real-time, automated, customized buying software. So they buy
Okay.
media in real time. And the
Okay.
reason why real-time media really matters is because you don't want to be sitting out in front of just everybody, right? Like I'll give you an example. This product covers all the way from TV to podcasts to radios to banner ads to being on apps, YouTube, Google, TikTok. Like it goes across all types of ad spend. So a lot of
Hmm.
people all know about Meta products, Facebook. A lot of people all know about Google products, right? SEM, SEO.
Hmm.
Um, those are two individual platforms that have their own coverage, their own space, everything like that. But on a daily basis, about 40% of the internet users go to those spaces on a daily basis.
Hmm.
This tool takes reach from just about 40%. And let's say if your message isn't really powerful in either one of those platforms, or you're
Hmm.
banned on those platforms, well, there's still 92% views out there, percent more views that you can actually get in front of. So this
Right.
tool actually will put you in front of 92% of the eyeballs that actually look at a screen on a daily basis. right?
Okay. All right.
There's estimated about 8% of the people in the United States won't look at a screen in a day. So
Yeah.
we'll catch the other 92 if they're the target market. So
Mm-hmm.
first off, you're going out there with like a tool that is just so dedicated to finding your ideal customer. Or, in some spaces I talk about patient with medical dispensaries and, different type of treatment facilities and those types of things. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to find that targeted market. Who's buying from you? Who's your message resonate with? Right?
Mm-hmm.
All this stuff plays into it, right? You think you put together a really good video, but it does not resonate to the people that you want buying from you.
Right.
Now that
Right.
was a waste of a video. That was a waste of that. So what happens with this is we upload a lot of the information based on the company, upload the company's website, all the information that I get from the company, sitting down with the president, CEO, the owner, and
Mm-hmm.
really pulling out what their message wants to be, what their target audience is, what's their perfect customer look like.
Okay.
Because what we do, and essentially using kind of like a fishing analogy, right? Like we'll still go out to Facebook and Google, they're like fishing with a lure, right? Like one person, one cast, one fish, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you're hoping they're biting on that lure. What we
Mm-hmm.
do is I'm chumming the water, I'm putting out nets, and I'm also finding the best lure for you to throw out in front of the ones that are like right now ready to bite. So
Gotcha.
if you know anything about like kind of the patient or customer funnel, you have the top of the funnel and you have the bottom of the funnel, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
top of the funnel is somebody's just found out about you, right? They
Right.
know what you are, or they know that they have this problem, this issue, or they want this, right? So that's kind of the awareness phase. So a lot of those places, what you're trying to do with branding is you're trying to create awareness around your branding.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you do that? So a lot of times is you just show yourself to people. It's
Right.
banner ads, it's a video. It's like, oh, that's really interesting, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're aware of something. So now that customer typically will say, let me go look that up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you're looking something up. So now you're starting to whittle yourself down this funnel. And what whole goal is each one of those funnels are important, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say if a person doesn't know you through your branding yet, but they already know they have the problem. They're at the bottom of the funnel. You just need to throw that right lure in there and hook them in. They're ready to go right now. So
Okay.
that's where Facebook ads and Google ads and some of those more targeted search queries come into play, high intent search, right? So we want to catch that person right there where they're biting. But there's a lot of people out there that don't even know what's out there, right? They're still
Right.
curious. And so we bring them all the way from that top of the funnel of educating them, bringing them to awareness, making sure that we're the only fit for them, and then catching them if they don't know them at the intended moment. So
Okay.
this tool actually breaks all those experiences down. So not only are you able to market, but you're able to market across a bunch of different channels. Typically, I shouldn't say a bunch, but several channels at the same rate of what you're normally doing, spending on like a Facebook or a Google.
Okay.
And like I just told you, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, so let's put this into context because I like
Hmm.
giving people real
Hmm.
world, examples. And if it's poison, the first bite will always be mine. I don't want anybody else to take a bite, right? So let's talk about my brand for a second. Let's talk about Active Duty RX, right?
Hmm.
So Active Duty RX, we are a THC free brand.
Hmm.
We are, I'm centered around educating veterans, making sure that people know that it is possible to get medical relief without getting high and without failing drug tests. Like
Okay.
that's my claim to fame. We have one product that has a little bit of THC in it, but it's naturally occurring Delta 9 and it's less than 0.3%.
Right.
That's the only one. Everything else is THC free. So, I want to target veterans. I want to
Hmm.
target those that, want that those professionals, the firefighters, first
Hmm.
responders, veterans, active duty can even take my product if they want to.
Right.
They're not going to fail drug tests. So how do we take that and drill it down to what you're saying?
So what are some of the symptoms that you're hoping to educate them on that this will relieve?
I am hoping to educate them on the fact that it is possible to get relief with cannabis without failing drug tests.
Okay.
That's
So
what
that's
I
kind
want
of
to educate them on.
okay. So that's the big message, right? So in that scenario, you're going to be looking at more of like you're going to be starting with a branding campaign, right? Because that's your unique pitch strategy. That's what sets you apart. The
Okay.
next piece is so that's kind of your awareness, top of the funnel. No one knows who you are. and
Right.
let's get active duty RX, and everybody starts knowing your name. Like,
Right.
damn, didn't I see something about that the other day? What was that again? Like, you
Yeah.
start getting branded searches, and that's what we're talking about. So that's still SEO.
Okay.
But if you go to Google and you type in your company name and you don't show up number one, well, we got a couple other issues we got to talk about, right?
Right.
That's true branded search, and you should have like if you set everything up, your Google's business page, all that type of stuff, directs you should pop up number one in that place, outside of maybe a couple paid ads on the top end.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So let me use that as an example. Somebody knows now your brand, they go right there. There's two
Okay.
ads up on top of that, competitors. Okay, so that's competitor targeting essentially.
Okay.
So let me lay that out for you. And then next yours is in the organic search. It's like active duty RX. That's exactly who it was. I click on them. So now they already knew where they were coming. You don't have to really worry about those ads. Sometimes they'll snag people if they're still on the fence about it, but
Mm-hmm.
they're coming to you, and that's what you eventually want, right? Like somebody doesn't go to, if they know they want a Nike Air Max, they go to Google and put in Nike Air Max, red, dot, 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 whatever else, size 12.
Yep.
Um, they don't go out there and say, I want a really good walking shoe, right?
What's a really
That
good walking shoe,
Right.
Google?
That's a person that just that's an uneducated person, right? Same
Right.
thing with your populace when you're branding is you want them now to know who you are. So you're trying to say, hey, look, if you're active duty, first responder, police, or any of those types of things, truck drivers, any of that like that
There you
have to
go.
be drug tested, I
Mm-hmm.
want to be the brand of choice because you will not have to worry about it. And here's my X guarantee, right?
Right.
So those are the types of message that you're doing. And now you're going to start whittling that down. Now we're also going to target those high intent. Maybe that police officer's like, my back's been bugging me. I don't like opioids. And I'll be one of the examples. Hated opioids. I've
Yep.
had um, I've had my shoulder replaced now, but I've had 4 or 5 shoulder surgeries over the years. And when I was in the military, you couldn't take any of that type of stuff. And I hated
Yep.
opioids, hated it. So all
Yep.
they gave you is vitamin M or vitamin T and
Yep.
vitamin O. Like I don't like vitamin O, and I really don't like the two other ones. But
Right. Right.
we never really had that option back then.
Mm-hmm.
Once it wasn't until I got out of out of the services, like okay, there's alternate things to me where I can actually deal with pain that actually works for me.
Right.
Um, so that's when you're going to turn in a police officer sitting there and saying, "Hey, look, I need some pain relief." Or I need help sleeping, or and that's where we want to start targeting those keywords and getting to the top of the funnel with those. But
Mm-hmm.
how we do this is I can go out and put your ads and your targeting marketing in front of the right people. They're going to be a first responder. They're going to be a police
Mm-hmm.
officer. They're going to be a firefighter. They're going to be an active duty retiree. They're going to
Okay.
be in your demographic. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
make the money that you're like. And a lot of people are like, oh, why do I care about what they make? Well, guess what? Like, you do care, right? Like you want the people that can afford your product. And I know we want to
Right.
get it out to everybody that we can, and we can do that in our charitable gifts. But at the end of the day, this is paid marketing stuff, right? Like you have to
Right.
get a return on this, or you can't even help anybody
Can't.
out.
Yeah, and you can't stay afloat if you're not moving
Right.
product.
So this is all designed around cost per sale or cost per
Mm-hmm.
acquisition or cost per patient or customer. And then the whole design around this is how I tailor this for everybody is now that you've gotten in front of someone, I help you with email campaigns. I geo target those same people that have seen you, and now I hit them with another ad and another ad and another ad and an email.
Okay.
Here's an ad. There's it because it can follow them. And the tool is that good, right? Like once we get it all set up, once we get the targeting set up, once we get the system in the background running, it's
Mm-hmm.
now working on a lot of autopilots, a lot of automations. The
Okay.
email campaigns, we have campaigns that are fully automated, or we have campaigns, and I recommend for everybody of, hey, this will be done for you, pretty much set up, auto-populate it, but you can hit the send button. You can
Yep.
control how many you send out each day, right?
Right.
Because that matters. If I go out here and I go ham on somebody that can take 5 phone calls a day and they get 30, I didn't do them any good. I did not solve
Right.
their, I just created the biggest burden for that poor person. And then
Yep.
I created such a bad patient or customer experience for that poor person where he
Yep.
may have now lost 30 people because I've created such bad, right?
Yep.
There is a finite matter of being able to dial this up, turn it down, increase where we need to, decrease where we need to. And the great thing is the computer does a lot of this. The software does a lot of this.
Now I'm going to ask you a question that a lot of people are going to say, like I just, since the people didn't show up for the time being, I'm
Hmm?
channeling the people through JJ, right?
That's awesome.
So here we go, right? I'm busy as hell. I
Hmm.
don't have a lot of time to do a lot of this stuff that you're talking about. Is there a fee that I can pay you to manage it from start to finish and you do it all and I don't have to do nothing but keep focusing on the things that I'm doing?
So I typically tell everybody there's a little bit of a in between, right? Because it
Okay.
is your brand. I need
Hmm.
you to tell me your story and I need you to help me set it up.
Okay.
Once the setup gets done, a lot of it's connected, everything keeps going, and there will be some message refreshing, right? Like, you can't run the same old ad for the next 6, 8 months, right? So there'll be
Right.
some general refreshing, but think of it this way. I'm going to be your fractional marketing officer that takes care of all of that type of stuff other than top end approval after we get everything set up on the front end.
Right.
So it will be probably one of the most intense marketing conversations that you've ever had. And it's a good thing,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
You want to be
Yep.
the
Yep.
top of the
Absolutely.
tier, tip
Yeah.
of the spear.
Absolutely.
We're going to run through the ringer on the marketing stuff that most people have never ran you through. Like, a
Right.
lot of marketing companies get all upset about this, but a lot of this is going to be built and we're going to confirm it with you, right?
Right.
It's going to
Yep.
say, "Hey, this is what is recommended for you based on your budget." And it'll build it out for us. And then we turn around and say, "Does that work? Does that sound good?" Okay,
Hmm.
let's talk about your videos. Do you have a video that you really like that we can use? So we'll need inputs on logos and imaging. And if you don't have that, just tell me. Tell me your colors. I'll build it all for you, right? Like, there's that heavy lifting. We can take it from you have nothing and build out an entire style guide that you can
Uh-huh.
take with you for the next however many years you want to go with it, right? Style
Hmm.
guides for most marketing companies and stuff like that, they refresh it every 2 to 3 years. You see people changing their logos, like Uber and Nike. They've done different things. Now we got Air Bison. Have you seen that meme now with the old man that got thrown up in the
Oh
air
yeah,
by the
he got his ass tossed by that
they
bike.
put him on the back of a shoe and it was Air Bison. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
terrible. But
Yeah, I
anyway,
feel bad for him, man.
whew. But that's like the level and the detail that goes around this, right? And the
Okay.
cool thing is everything's based off of cost per sale, right? We
Okay.
don't do a whole bunch of like your imaging and your branding is all free, right? Like, there's no charging for it. Most
Okay.
people pay for clicks and pay for the imaging and pay for all that. This is all whittled down and it's designed to funnel down to an average cost of sale.
So basically, if I'm understanding you correctly, and I'm just, for that people who are going to hear the recording, and if I'm wrong, please correct me. But it sounds like there's very minimal to no upfront cost. Like money is not actually paid to you guys until sales are actually generated through your funnel. And then that's when a certain percentage of the sale comes back to
So
you.
your marketing, you'll start with a marketing spend, like everybody has their marketing spend. But what that does on the back end is like that marketing spend goes towards marketing,
Gotcha.
right? Like, where if you were normally having an in-house marketing team, you'll spend 60 to $120,000 between and more, but we'll use a safe conservative range between salary, benefits, taxes,
Hmm.
the whole benefits there.
Right.
Um, that's before any dollar even goes to marketing spend. Where the
Right.
programmatic side is essentially all your money goes to marketing spend. We
Hmm.
place marketing, we get rebates, wholesale rates on the back end. We get discounted spends in different places where we place the money, and we place the money based on where your ideal customer is.
Okay.
We don't care if it's Facebook. We don't care if it's Google. None of those things matter to us. We're completely agnostic to where it is. We're
Uh-huh.
fishing for your right audience.
Gotcha.
Um, and so, for example, there's a couple where there's one group that I work with, just kind of using a little bit of example. They had 15 years worth of like sales records with
Hmm.
other companies. And all they were like, all we need to do is get like our top 10 spenders to spend a little bit more with us.
Hmm.
And it wasn't anything crazy, right? It was like,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
we could bump our sales by 15, 20% and just let them know that we sell other products, that was it. If they bought a
Yeah.
blower from us, we want them to let them know that we have fans.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. We
fans
already
go with
trust our
blowers,
blowers.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's just that little just nuance, right? And so for them, all I did was targeted email campaigns. I geofenced the people that worked in those companies that we found to be their top, 10% of the people that they wanted to focus. And I went after the targeted employees like titles. like facilities managers, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So if there
yeah,
was a
yeah.
facilities manager in that building, I got his email address and he got a marketed email from their brand saying, "Hey, it looks like you may have bought a blower from us a year ago. Have you thought about replacing your fans? We have those too."
Oh, yeah,
So it was
yeah.
something simple where it
Uh-huh.
wasn't even this big crazy thing, and that will turn out to running roughly about $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
But on the return, one of his sales in these fan packages typically go around 15K. He's like, man, if I got like if I got a half fan a month, I'm good, bud.
Yeah.
But and all his thing is all we had to do was email branding for him. And it's
Right. Yeah.
perfect. He doesn't have to go out direct to consumer. You're
Mhm.
a product that somebody has to use every single month, every single day, have to reorder those types of things.
Mhm.
There's a lot of brands out there. It's very saturated. No one really knows who to go to.
Yeah, yeah.
And now you're going to get ahead of the pack because people are going to see that branding. Boom, 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 boom,
Get
boom. And they're like, damn, what
okay.
is this active like RX?
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah.
then you start going curious in that piece. And then we start funneling it down. Let's say if we start seeing a handful of keywords are
Hmm.
doing the best. Most of the people that we find are high intent around pain relief. Now we start doing
Bro,
targeted markets around pain relief.
bro, our roll-on is ridiculous. Like it's a
Right?
pain stick,
Mm-hmm.
it's got a nanotechnology, it's got arnica, Montana flowers, a
Nanotech
few other
stuff is
things,
really cool stuff.
So so it's real easy. And like I said, I'm just thinking of the questions that, when people
Mm-hmm.
are viewing this video later, they're
No,
gonna
I
have.
I love it.
And then, they're also gonna want to know, how do they contact you later, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody's hearing this video and doesn't want to deal with JJ, like, how do they contact Dave directly? Like, because JJ's an asshole. Not everybody wants to deal with me, right? So how do they contact you,
Yeah, so they can call me. Cell is 303-704-7514. And
Okay.
then my email address is dave@evolvex360.com. So EVOLVEX360.com.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. Well, definitely want to know that. And I'm gonna, I already know this, but you touched on something earlier. You're a fellow veteran, as well. So what branch of service, how long did you serve?
I was in the Coast Guard for 6 years.
Coasty. Okay. All
Hmm.
right. Right on. Thank you for your service, as
As well to
well.
you.
Definitely, appreciate it. And one thing about the military, man, no matter which branch of service, you're involved with, you kind of become a jack of all trades and a master of none over the years because yeah, this may be your job title, but you got to do X, Y, Z,
Hmm.
and get proficient at it really fast. And that's something that I've noticed that carries over with a lot of veterans after their time in service. Whatever they decide to go to next is really a good olive branch because of the basic skill set that you were able to hone while you were in the military.
Hmm.
So with that said, one of the things that we had to become really good at in the military was problem solving, and identifying bottlenecks. So
Hmm.
with what you do in this space currently, like, where's the bottleneck for you in this space?
So typically the bottleneck for me, is really sometimes in that front end heavy lift, right? Like it is a very, and I tell everybody, it'll probably be about 10 of the most challenging hours you'll put in because you got to do
Okay.
some thought, right? Like if you want us to sell you, you got to think about it. You got to be able to articulate it, right?
Right.
We got to either know you have those images and that the logos and those types of things, or we'll create them for you. But
Right.
through that process, if you have a pretty well good style brand and guide of what you like, there's a lot of it already being told to us, right?
Right.
And then we'll hone in that message and that type of stuff, and we'll beta test different types of messages around it. But that first upfront lift is going to be the heaviest. And
Gotcha.
then it's just change management, just like everything that you do, right? It's going to be a little bit awkward. You're like, man, I wish I could be over here focusing on this. But it's like once it's built, and then it gets
Yeah.
better and smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter. Um,
Nice.
just like everything, I don't know if people like realize this, and it was hard for me to realize it at the very beginning when I started doing marketing. But it was because I wasn't working with the right marketing people. Oh, you have to do this spin. You have to do this spin. And you're like, look, I'm spending all this money and nothing's coming back. Right.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. That's that part right there. Like,
right.
people are already struggling to pay their bills, and now you got this big ask for X amount of dollars for marketing when you don't even know how you're going to pay your rent the next month.
Right. Right. And a lot of times, and to be fair to most businesses, like hopefully we're getting past that point where it's like we're completely struggling on the bills for like some of the marketing and branding because this is that next level stuff. Like this was only available to like Fortune 500 companies given a handful of years ago, right?
Hmm.
And I happened to luck out so much because I had been spending the minimum spend with my real estate company and had a chance to meet my partner that,
Uh-huh.
like I said, who is the president at this marketing company. So the company that I work with, it's out of Denver. It's AdCellerant. I white label it.
Ad seller. Okay.
AdCellerant, right? And so essentially they don't work with small to mid-sized businesses, right? Like you're looking at like a 25 to 50K minimum spend with these companies. So they've allowed me to come to small and mid-sized businesses to help them out. The reason why you can't work with that is usually you have to have an on-staff marketing person that does
Right.
all the heavy lifting,
Yep.
right? All the stuff's in the background. They're doing everything that the company needs to build the commercials, to build all that type of stuff. They got to get that material.
Yep.
With me, I come in with that. I'm your full managed marketing team that'll take care of all that information for you. But I do need to understand and I do need to hear your brand.
Right.
That's the biggest piece. And then what we do from there is we start honing in and customizing everything into a system and into a platform. We get your entire marketing plan talking to itself. Where
Gotcha.
when you work with normal people, they're working with, oh, I can do YouTube ads for you. YouTube,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
You don't own anything. It's YouTube space. You get nothing from it. And then somebody, oh, they did an order, and hopefully you collect their information on the back end and you don't know where they come from.
Right.
Most of all this stuff is geo-targeted. I can see where they've clicked on the ads, if they clicked on a banner ad, if they clicked on one of your videos, if they went to your website afterwards, if what Google searches they're doing. This is propaganda. I mean, this is 100%. This is software that stalks you once we
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
out that it's the right person because we know how many touches it takes to get somebody to truly buy.
Right.
And so in your situation is we're trying to get somebody on a message and a product, and now
Hmm.
we want to make sure that they're aware about the other products that you have, like your
Right.
roll-ons, like your other tools that I forgot, the full rundown of the spectrum of your
Yeah.
products.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now we want to get that customer because that customer is cheaper now and
Hmm.
we want to get them to spend with you again. And then
Right.
when we get you to spend with them more. And we want to tell them about the February special. We want to tell them about the March special and the April special and the June
Yep.
special and the 4th of July special and the Yay
Yep.
America special. Whatever the special
Straight stalk
is,
them.
right?
Yeah.
But it's very professional. It's touched, it's branded, it walks all the way through the process. And like
Gotcha.
I said, it's a fraction. I tell most people if you can find a way to come around between about a $1,500 to $2,500 marketing spend, you'll be
Hmm.
blown away by what you can see from it. If
Awesome.
you have an average customer spend, like lifetime value for your average customer, let's call it a $400 to $500 or more,
Hmm.
this works for you.
Gotcha.
If I have to sell you a whole bunch of $9 trinkets, it's probably not going to work, right?
Right.
Just to be fair. Now, if you have funding, because most of those people like we can make it very easy so your cost of acquisition is super low. And then if you do have a bucket of money, we'll have it so that everybody knows your name for the next few years to buy your trinkets at $9 a pop. But
Right.
if that's going to be your based on your return, you got to have a product that does sell well. So that's why, somebody that has sells something that they need to continue to refill it like it's
Hmm.
consumable.
Hmm.
That's a great model. If it's something with a big product, like a big manufacturing product, those types of things, those are
Hmm.
typically good. Dispensaries, I'll give you like an example. I just did one with that. They have a $38 average ticket price. Their average customer comes in 12 times. I showed them the case study of the dispensary that we worked with. Their average ticket price was $30 and their customer came in at 12. By the time we got through their 12 months with us, their average ticket price was $47 and they came in 19 times.
Wow.
That's with their current customer based off of their average reoccurring revenue. And that
Right.
doesn't even include the foot traffic that walked through the door. The
Yeah.
foot
Yeah.
traffic that walked through the door was over $490,000 in revenue
Wow.
from the foot traffic that just walked in the door, not including the increased spend and amount of times they came into the business.
The crazy thing about everything that you're mentioning right now is I understand your model, really well. I'm doing a lot of real world application of what you're talking about right now because I've noticed myself that it is much easier to convince somebody to put something on their skin rather than down their throat.
Hmm.
right? When it comes to, when people are in pain and they need relief. So, I use our pain stick as an entry level thing. When I'm in the gym, I have a few in my bag. Let me
Hmm.
see you in a knee brace or an elbow brace or whatever. I'm gonna, that's a conversation starter right there. It's like, hey, how'd you hurt yourself, right?
Right.
And then once I tell them, hey, I have something here, it doesn't have THC in it, nanotechnology, absorbs deeper, faster into the skin, and I give it to them. Like I just give them a sample, right? And
Right.
then the next time I see them in the gym, this right here comes into play. They're like, hey, you're that guy that gave me this. And then
Right.
now they go from a trial size to where they automatically want a full size
Right.
roll on, right? And then a few weeks ago by, they'll be like, hey man, I'm having problems sleeping, or that stuff
Hmm.
works really well, but it's not getting it all. Well, now we need to look at something that might need to go to sublingual under the tongue, or a gummy,
Hmm.
or something like that. So it just leads to other things if you just build that confidence and build that trust, with
Yep.
one thing, and that's what I've noticed, and it doesn't sound like your program is that expensive, so to speak, in terms of the return, on that actual investment. So, like, how do you overcome that objection? Like the person, God, $1,500, $2,000. Like, how does Dave overcome that objection?
I mean, typically for me in that general point, it's either a trust issue, and if it's a budget issue, sometimes it's not the good fit for everybody, right? Like, I honestly don't want anybody going home and sweating about paying the bills the next month, right? Like,
Right.
this is a marketing spin, but this is very similar to like investing, right? Like, this is an investment back into your business, back into your brand. Um, and it has quick payoff and it has long-term payoff that like is tremendous. My retention rate with the company that we work with after 90 days is well over like 95%. For a
Wow.
marketing agency, you never ever hear about that. Like marketing
Yeah.
agencies have 20 to 60% churn. Um, the other piece at a year mark, we're at almost 99% retention rates. Um,
Wow.
and that's including like that's so here's the other thing that I tell people too. Like I have a clinic, they can handle 30 more people in the clinic a month,
Hmm.
right? After that, they can't do anymore, right? So
Right.
I fill that gap. Now we have another problem to solve, right?
Yeah.
Now here's another profit issue. Do you want to expand, or do we down throttle some of the marketing, right? Like just a little bit less because we don't need as many people. And then we
Hmm.
funnel the leads that were maybe missed, or we funnel like just the new backfilling the open seats. And then we're building that marketing plan around that. So there are marketing plans where it's like, I want to expansion and dominate. And then there's marketing campaigns where you're just trying to be brand awareness and top of mind, right? Like
Right.
it's like, I'm not necessarily going after this as every sale. I'm just keeping top of mind for people because they're coming to me naturally. And it's just like media, right? You want people talking about you. You want people seeing
Right.
you.
Right.
But there's different amounts that you can spend at that point in time, right? There's a
Right.
maintenance dose versus I do a lot of like I like this one barbell analogy. It's like if you're trying to get in shape, there's two places, right? Like there's a maintenance dose, there's a minimum required effort to maintain where you're at, right? Like if
Right.
you just do this every single day, you're more than likely to kind of stay exactly where you're at and steady
Right.
Eddie, and hopefully
Yep.
you reversed aging and you might have some minimum decrease. But
Right.
now if you want to blow through that, there's the other end of the barbell where it's like you have to go maximum allowable effort, right? Like
Right.
what can I do as much as I can do without getting hurt? That's where you're
Right.
trying to go to. Anything in
Yeah.
between, you're kind of fucking around. And sorry
Yeah.
about the
Yeah.
language, but
I'll
like
give, hey, I'll give shit. So
you're
yeah, you keep
wasting
them
time,
out.
you're wasting energy, you're wasting all that other type of stuff, right? So that's where we measure on the back end. It's like, do you need to really blow this up? Because, well, the one clinic I was talking to, you have a $450, $1,000 a month problem. Like, what are we talking about? $1,500. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you want me to solve a $450,000. Like, we got to stop talking about that. We got to start talking about what that's really going to talk about solving it. So
Right. Right.
and then it's like, okay, that makes sense. Um, but in some situations, like, hey, how much can you produce each month before you need another machine or you need a new
Right.
packing team or a new mailing company, right? Like all those types of things is what the problem and the gap that we're trying to solve. So it will vary. If you came over and said, hey, look, man, I'm trying to get another $500, $600 a month. Well, here's a couple free things that I'll show you how to do. And I'll give you a free business report. right?
Yeah,
Here it
yeah,
goes. Here's the things and the areas that you can go fix and you can go do on your own. Perfect. You don't even have to give me that 500 bucks. Thanks for the conversation. Right?
right.
Like this is a free, easy thing I can do for somebody, and you'll get that no matter what. But on the back end, I can tell you exactly where we can go to deliver like some high end stuff. And I'm very honest and transparent. Like I said, if somebody comes to me with a $9
Oh, dude,
trinket,
I know you.
yeah,
Like you've always kept it
I
100 with me, you know? I mean, that's never been an issue. So I
I had a
have
guy
faith in
come
you as
out.
a person, you know?
Right. I had a guy come out and said, I have $500. And like, if I don't get something out of this in like the next 60 days, I'm going to have to close up shop. And I just literally said to him, I'm like, look, man, you are way past the $500 monthly spend. Like, we got to talk about a couple different things.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
we started talking about he had like actually had different equipment, different things like that. I'm like, we need to try to find a way you can sell that
Yeah,
equipment,
you need to go to the pawn
right? Like,
shop.
before you get to, I got to close the doors because then they're going to give you pennies on the dollar.
Right.
Try to
Yeah.
get ahead of it as best as possible,
Right.
right? It's like,
Yeah.
so for me, it's really not about money. It's about actually being able to deliver some things and at least point people in the right direction. If it's going to be like, I have to do this myself. I don't have much money. I'm bootstrapping and I get it. Like we've all done that, right?
Yeah.
I'll give them some pointers and point them in the right direction and give them, I mean, even with me, I got a couple free tools. If they want to just log into it, I'll expand with them.
Right.
Just to help with some local SEO, I got a free platform they can log in and it'll
Yeah.
update all their business sites so everything looks the same and Google
Right.
will see them as relevant, right? Like, so I have a couple free tools, but if we're talking about expansion versus branding and maintenance, everything's got a little bit of a different
Right.
strategy and model based off your product. And I
Right.
know, and I was in sales. I used to hate marketing. They always tell me this, like, I'm like, what do you mean depends? Like, this is kind of black and white, man. Like, I played sports all my life. If you do X, Y, and Z, like, this is
Yeah.
results. But with them, it was kind of depends. And now I fully understand where the depends comes because this really is next level. This isn't like, well, I run 50 Facebook ads and I know exactly what they do. No, you don't.
Mhm.
If
Yeah.
anybody tells you that, they don't because you're your own unique business. You have your
Yeah.
own people you want to appeal to and all those things. So,
Right. So is this is your platform and what is it called again? Like what?
so it runs through either Amazon DSP or
Okay.
Trade Desk. Those are the
Okay.
software. Those are the automated tools that does all the real-time bidding after we tell it what to do.
Got you. So
Um,
these are
so
AI driven platforms?
These are extremely large language models. So yes, there is AI compartments, but they also it's a level of data. Like so there's like this like goes at like 100,000 pixels where like Facebook has like 1,000 pixels. When I
Wow.
said you want to find out what their age is, their demographic, where they like I can geo target bases. If a phone goes across the base, like I know they went on a base. And if it's like a military or a government contractor that you're looking to target for ads, I don't
Right.
know the person's name, but I know their basically online social security number. Let's call it
Right.
that. That's the best way to describe it, right? I
Yeah.
don't know anything else about them, but I know that social security number went onto a base. And if he's like any of us, he's had his ass kicked in a long time and his back fucking hurts and his knee fucking hurts and he needs some CBD roll
Yeah,
on.
right.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's exactly the level of detail that we get. So you're not just like serving I don't know if you've ever been on Facebook and if you ever looked at an ad, and if you don't book off that ad or something, all of a sudden you'll get the same type of style ads, but for different competitors.
Yeah, man. Like it's crazy. Like you be scrolling and you just click on one of them, and the
Mhm.
next thing you know, like 10 of them show up, you know?
Those motherfuckers will serve up your ad, and if you don't book through you, they'll serve up your competitor's ad until they get a booking out of it. So
Yeah.
they will keep serving up. It's like Angie's List, where they take a lead and serve it to five contractors. Now I flip it though. They could be looking
Okay.
at your competitor, and I'll serve them JJ's ads.
Nice.
So
Let's
it
go.
inverts it, right? So I can do competitor targeting. I can do geofencing. If you have an actual physical store where people walk in, I can tell you the people that walked in your door that have seen your ads. Unless they've
That
seen their unless they've seen the ad on a computer or a TV, because you usually
yeah.
don't carry a T. It'd be
That
weird if you're carrying a TV through
man,
the door.
that's crazy, dude. And like, and I'm just, now you do this for way more than just cannabis, correct? Like I'm assuming you can do this for other, it's like I've got a buddy who's in solar
Mhm.
panels, and whatnot. And I've got different friends, and all of these assholes who replied, yes, I'm coming out, and they didn't show up. I just want you to know I'm talking about them right now. But with what you have going on. I really want to see this be successful. I'm just saying it applies to other areas, but like I'm in
Mhm.
cannabis specifically right now, and I know what's happening in cannabis. I know that we're in the hemp hunger games right now. You got a
Mhm.
lot of people that they need quality advertising and things like this to survive the hunger games. Now they haven't done themselves justice because some of them are involved with some BS products,
Mhm.
but those that are tried and true and are truly trying to make it through, man, I want to see you dealing with those people directly, and if
Right.
there's anything that I can do, or if there's any, commercials or something that you can put together, for me to forward out amongst mine, because like I have Facebook pages for 30 states now, and I would
Mhm.
love to be able to take a video of what you do and like put that out there, within these 30 states,
Okay.
and see you get some people, interested in what you're doing that way. And, I also want to have a little talk with my business partners as well and say, hey, what can we do? What can we do to ramp up our advertising?
Right.
How can we work, with Dave to get our advertising better? Because if you can use my platform as something to show that this really works and it works really well, I think I can carry that message really well as a dude who's taught, like my Hemp 101, right, which is
Mhm.
separate from my products, but I've taught that thing 3 times at Texas A&M College
Right.
Station. I've taught it, for Alabama A&M function in conjunction with the ag department. I've taught it to the Comal County Bar Association. I had 15 lawyers in a courtroom, teaching lawyers the
Right.
difference between hemp and marijuana. And I recently, did it for a major financial institution as well. So I think I'm someone of credibility
Mhm.
when I speak on, hey guys, go look at this person because what they're doing will set you on fire, opportunity wise, to survive these times, that we're in right now. So,
Mhm.
one brother to another, man, Coast Guard, Air Force, I want to see you out there, in a massive way, being able to be that conduit because we need that during these times. A
For
lot of
sure.
people are, and I'm sad. It really saddens me that people are closing their doors and they can't survive what's going on right now. But the ones that can, I want to see them. I want to see those brands thrive and do,
Mhm.
really well. So, anything that I can do, to further those efforts, I'm all about it. Let's give them your information one more time,
Okay.
for like how do they contact Dave if they're interested in what we're talking about now?
Perfect. Yeah. And before we do that, I just wanted to answer that one question. So I can work across all spectrums. The ones that we were talking about, and we really didn't touch on it a whole bunch, but what we're talking about now is the alt networks. Okay.
Okay.
So they're alternative networks. The reason why we're so good is I can confirm that the user's above 21 years old. I can serve up ads where Facebook won't let you, right?
Got you.
Because you can't tell Facebook from your Facebook page that you're only targeting 21 years old or whatever it is. I know who the end user is. I don't personally know who they are, but I know through the software and the data based off their phone that this
Right.
person is over the age of 21 years old.
Right.
I can also buy space on alternative networks that allow these types of things because they know who they're serving these up to as well. So it's all age restricted, and we have deep, rich data that tells us where it's at. So I
Okay.
can get ads on Facebook and Google and other places sometimes approved because of the messaging as well. If you
Right.
say the
Right.
wrong messaging with CBD or cannabis or gambling or firearms or any of that type of stuff, you're done, right?
Done. Yeah.
So this all has built in, it knows in the background of what it can and what it can't say, what claims it can make, how it can't do it, and how to smooth it out, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so that's the cool part. And then the other thing, I can work across all brands, all industries. It kind of goes back to it. Typically, if your product has some lifetime value, repeat visit, or some big chunk value like a roofer or that type of stuff, if you want to dominate your local market, if you want to go national, if you want to go international, I can take you to any of those places. And it's not just one channel. I have you across multiple channels, and we'll see which bucket works the best.
Nice. And if they want to contact you to be able to do all those things that you just mentioned, how do they do so?
303
That's a
70.
cell phone number, guys.
Yep, cell phone.
Okay.
303 704 7514. And then
Okay.
email address is dave at evolvex360.com. And that's EVOLVEX360.com.
Man, Dude, like I am the first of all, thank you, for coming
Absolutely.
out here, sharing a little bit, man. Like I said, we're gonna terminate this in a few minutes, but when we're done, I want to have a quick conversation with you afterwards. But man, just to know where we were a few years ago, and where
Mhm.
we're at and what we're doing now, man, it's crazy, how things just kind of, evolve over time in this space. And you are a living testament to persistence breaks down resistance.
Right.
No matter what, you got to be persistent. You got to be consistent in your delivery, and just have this undying willingness to succeed. In what we do, and anybody can do it if they just move forward with good intentions. And
Right.
deliver a real message. Like you are, man. So thank you for all of your contributions. And what you've done and what you will continue to do. So, just wanted to make sure that people got a chance to get out here, talk to you directly, ask questions. But like I said, unfortunately, I guess, there's something that's people are doing right now. They didn't come out, but they're
It
going to
was
catch the
World Cup.
recording. Yep, that's what it is. That's what we're going to bring it. We're going to blame it on that.
Hmm.
But at the same time, because I know what's going to happen, we're going to get off this call and I'm going to get phone calls out. Hey, man, what did I miss? You know what? You missed the recording. Go watch that. Because
Right.
that's where, Dave has all the information, all the good stuff. And, I don't want to speak out of turn. So I'm going to make sure that people, to the maximum extent possible, have access to this video so that they can get this message directly from you. And I sincerely hope that people, reach out to you. And in the event that you can't get in touch with Dave, guys, you can always email me. My email address is James, James, at jjgro.com. Once again, James, James, at jjgro.com. Email me, let me know what you need. You're trying to get in contact with Dave, and I will take that email and I will forward it on to him because he's a fellow, military brother and myself. I'm always make sure that he's taken care of and make sure that you guys are taken care of as well. So, Dave, thank you so much for what you do. Do you have any parting words or anything before we end the official part of this conversation?
Just if you're out there and you're exploring different options around marketing solutions and um, revenue side of things, like I have everything from white labeled employees to after hours answering service to, sales team for hire to full on content build outs and video photographers, website designs, full marketing campaigns. I have the full solution set up there. So
Awesome. Well, brother, thank you so much for that and everything that you will continue to do. So, guys, make sure you check him out. And I'm going to say this: JJ out. Y'all have a good evening. Take care. Bye bye.
take care.
All right.